As a kid, growing up in the region known as the roof of the world, I was looking at the mountains. One could say that Khorog is surrounded by mountains, so everybody ending up to see the mountains. For me, the definition of the mountain is different. It is what I cannot reach, what I cannot get to yet. Because there's another definition, which is Badakhshan people are living on the mountains anyway. The region, which is known for its terrific terrain, for big and small sizes of glaciers, and the mountains around the world, around the year, are covered with the peaks, attracting a lot of tourists and adventurous travelers. And this region happens to be a place for playing football for me. And coming from the well-educated family, where my parents were encouraging us to have access to the good education, but also encouraging us traveling out of the regions from our schoolhood, I quickly realized realities of my hometown, which happens to be very remote, vulnerable to the hazards, and lacking basic infrastructures. And it is because of this, the surrounding, what I call the harsh beautiness, and the people who were shaping me made me determined and enthusiastic to make this part of the world a better place for living. And after the collapse of the Soviet Union, followed by the World War, Tajikistan in general and Badakhshan in such had been facing lots of challenges. Additional to the food security challenges, we dealt with the crisis challenges, with the energy crises as well. Because in the past, most of the electricity was produced out of diesel generator, and the fuel was heavily subsidized and was imported from the Russia. And during the war, part of the transmission and distribution networks was also collapsed. So it was so unfortunate to see that the schools, hospitals, and businesses were closed during the winter because of lacking of electricity. During this period, I was undertaking my degree in electric engineering in one of the finest universities in Dushanbe. And the outbreak of the Civil War made me to come back to my hometown. It was so obvious to see that how the natural hazards and the man-made risk can easily cut off the regions from the remaining part of Tajikistan. And having energy crisis made it even worse. In 2012, in order to address the energy crisis, the government of Tajikistan, in partnership with the Aga Khan Fund for Economic Development and International Finance Corporation, has established the first public-private partnership known as Pamir Energy. That was the first significant investment in the infrastructure as well. A lot of things have been done since then. However, the road happened to be bumpy. In the middle of winter of 2017, the major hydropower plant, Pamir 1, which was representing 70% of generation capacity at that time, was flooded. And again, the region got in darkness. At that time, I was working with Focus organization, an affiliate of the Aga Khan Development Network, coordinating the humanitarian assistance in this energy crisis. Shortly after that, I became a CEO of Pamir Energy, a company which was facing a lot of challenges. And the number of the challenges was so significant. If you are talking technically, it is inefficiencies in the entire systems, lack of the generation capacity, low collection, and etc. But the most significantly, we had a very difficult relationship with the community, and we had a demotivated staff within the company. So all those challenges actually made me felt, and I think there was a feeling of failure to achieve what I could do towards what has been expected from me. And those challenges started to prevent me from taking the right decisions, because my mind was very much focusing on not making the wrong decisions. And it was a time, it was really critical age for me when I was remembering what my father had taught me throughout his lifetime. And before to share with you what the advices that my dad tell you, I'm making my points to the youth. We, at this age, often look at the advices of our parents as something irrelevant or something that makes common sense. It is a matter of time for you to start to appreciate the wisdom that coming from these advices, and these advices will help you to overcome the challenges will be encountering you throughout your life. Coming back to the advices of my dad, this great man did a lot of efforts in order to make me believe in the power of education. And I think that was the man who believed more in my competency than I did it myself. So I really got the enthusiasm and I stepped in. What happened to me very importantly, it is that I realized that the answers to all the challenges are with the people who have been dedicatingly working at Pamir Energy. And everyone, each of them, really wanted to succeed. So we all together as a team did a lot of course, team building exercises, and we started to rebuild our relationship with the community through the dialogues. In those dialogues, people were normally addressing the technical issues. So we as a Pamir Energy started to deliver on those promises. And as mentioned earlier, we had also the technical issues that has to be resolved. All this made it possible that since 2011, all our customers in Vilayat Mukhtar-e State of Badakhshan receiving electricity. Today, over 255,000 people, both in the East Tajikistan and in northern Afghanistan, receiving affordable and reliable electricity throughout the year. And we do have, of course, plan for Eastern Tajikistan as Aga Khan Fund for Economical Development. And we are also have a plan together with the government of Afghanistan in order to electrify the entire Badakhshan with a population of 1 million people in the next 10 years. And we also are working now in the northern Pakistan in order to replicate the Pamir Energy model in that part of the world. So this journey, growing up as a child, noticing the challenges, the struggles of the people, mainly coming from the energy crisis, becoming a CEO of Pamir Energy, and to play my role in addressing those challenges. And it was started with the self-doubtness, with the fear of uncertainty. But then these circumstances, these experiences pushed me out from my zone of comfort, and I actually find out me on another edge of, on another part of this edge, which is really improving the life of the people through providing the electricity throughout the road, throughout the region. And And I think for me personally, it is the most significant achievement which is in my life. And guess what? Today, I'm again at this edge. I was talking about the expansions of the Aga Khan Fund for Economical Development in terms of energy projects throughout the region. I again come to the edge of self-doubtness and of fear of uncertainties. And guess what? I will make sure I will bring back my competency to myself. I will be listening to the people who are around me, and I will act. Thank you.